My name is Professor Ruth Keraka. I'm a professor at Strathmore University in entrepreneurship and strategy. So I am the conference chair for our SME conferences, and this year we are hosting the 12th Annual SME Conference. And this year's conference is focusing on women, and the theme is empowering women, building futures, the path to sustainable and successful women-owned SMEs. The reason why we're focusing on women in 2024 is that over the years, we've done a lot of work with women entrepreneurs. We have done research, we have done capacity building, we have done programs for women directors, women leaders, women in the corporate world, women running businesses, and there's some themes that always seem to cut across, irrespective of the program, irrespective of the profile of the participants. There are issues that seem to cut across that affect women in a unique way. And therefore, we felt that it was important to have a conference that focuses on women only, where we could discuss women-specific issues, questions, and solutions as well. And that was the motivation for this conference that is focusing on women. The reality is, all businesses will succeed, whether it's led by a woman or a man. The question might be that the level of growth or the pace of growth, because even for those women who run small businesses or micro businesses, they're still successful in the way they define success. They may not be as big sometimes as a male-owned enterprises, but to their own definition, they are successful. One of the interesting things we have found is that even success sometimes is defined differently by women and men. So many times when I have asked male entrepreneurs how they define success, the first thing they mention is money. If my business is not making money, I am not successful. The women will still talk about money, but they'll talk about other things as well. For example, work-life balance. It's giving me the opportunity to integrate my life and my family and the business, and I'm able to have the flexibility. So that flexibility is important for them. The autonomy that comes with that flexibility is important. Is important for the women entrepreneur. They also talk about, through my business, I'm also able to help other women in my community that maybe who have not been doing much, they have been struggling to make ends meet, and through my business, I'm either able to hire them through the value chain. So for example, if I'm running a restaurant business, I get women entrepreneurs or farmers to provide vegetables, to provide the meat, to provide the milk. So I support part of the value chain that is run by women. So for me, my business is not just about my success as a woman, but it's also about people in my community, in my ecosystem, who are able to benefit. So we have found that the definition of success for a woman-owned enterprise is sometimes different from a male-owned enterprise. And even defining success, it's important to unpack those dynamics as well. The government is doing a lot. I have done quite a lot of research around the country focusing on women enterprises. I've done one study that focused on 37 counties and another one that focused on 25 counties, and all of them looking at women enterprises. And it was interesting that many women, for example, can identify with the Women Enterprise Fund. And they said we have been able to benefit from Women Enterprise Fund. When we started as a group, we got a small loan of 50,000. Now, the last time we applied, we got a loan of almost $1 million. Yeah? So we have grown through the Women Enterprise Fund. So they could identify areas of growth. I did a study on the access to government procurement opportunities, which is also looking at 30% of government procurement spend going to women, youth, and persons with disabilities. And out of that pot, for the 30%, over 50% of the 30% goes to women-owned enterprises. So in that regard as well, we find that women are getting opportunities to access government procurement. And there's some who have beautiful success stories about what they've been able to do because of government procurement. However, there are equally tragic stories of women who have suffered, women who have lost their businesses, women who have lost their incomes, women who have lost property as a result of their engagement with government procurement because of issues around payments and other challenges. So is government doing enough? There's always room for more. because even the 30% that the youth and women and persons with disabilities are supposed to access, they are not getting 30%. They're getting a lot less. And the question is, why are they not getting the 30%? Where is some of that procurement going? And sometimes it's because the procuring entities are not held to account, that even when they say that this money will go, this procurement will go to AGPO, not all of it necessarily goes to AGPO. So even in terms of compliance, the government can do more in terms of compliance to ensure the entities actually comply with the law and ensure that 30% of the spend goes to AGPO. They can do more in terms of paying on time. One of the major complaints we got is that government doesn't pay on time. Some entrepreneurs will do it a year, 2 years, 3 years without being paid, and somebody probably took a loan to service that contract, and therefore when they don't get paid and the bank wants their money, what happens? The entrepreneur is left in between, having to look for other monies. Some of them have been auctioned, some have lost property that they had to sell to pay off the loans. So there are areas that the government can certainly improve on and must improve on, but yes, there is a lot that the government is doing to support women-owned businesses.
My name is Sally Mahihu. I am the board chairperson of Kenya Investment Authority. Now, what I didn't mention, or I didn't have time to mention, is that at Ken Invest we have a project called Wekeza Dada, something we launched about 1.5 years ago. And this is where we focus on women entrepreneurs and SMEs owned by women. And we invite them, or we reach out to them for purposes of making it easier for them to run their enterprises, for them to access markets. We work with them to access markets, even if it's not just Kenya, but internationally, globally in Africa. We help them to get training and mentorship programs where they can acquire more knowledge and skills on what they're doing. We help them to also partner. We guide them on partnering. We do matchmaking. You know, we see your investment or your business and we tell you, we've heard of somebody else who's doing like this. They could complement your business. So we matchmake them and we literally walk with them the journey towards upgrading or really empowering their businesses and enterprises. So it's a subject that's dear to us as Ken Invest, because we feel that we desire to promote women. We desire to promote women businesses and entrepreneurs. What we do is to make sure that we create an environment through marketing, advertising, and forums and sessions where we inform the potential foreign investors and even the local investors we encourage them to invest by creating a conducive atmosphere, investment atmosphere. Now, once we attract, we talk about Kenya, we talk about the opportunities, we talk about the joint ventures they can enter to, the investment packaged opportunities. We package them. We literally have a list of packaged opportunities for investments, and we go out there or we speak out there and we say, this is what you can invest in Kenya and the way you can do it. Once we bring you in and you're interested, we then facilitate you. What do I mean by facilitation? Ordinarily, when you come to do business in Kenya or to invest, you need to get certain licenses, certain permits, certain registrations, like register a business, open bank accounts, get KRA pins. So what we do at Ken Invest, we have a one-stop shop where we have all those government departments, NIMA, Kenya Power, KRA, the Business Registration Bureau. We have every agency you can think of that you'd ordinarily need to go to in order to get permits and licenses. So you come to Ken Invest and we get those licenses for you. We actually apply for them for you in a very short time. So we save you the time of going around the bureaucracy and going around the whole country. So at the end of that, we pre-facilitate you. We enable you to set up shop in Kenya as an investor, whether foreign or domestic. After that, and once you fulfill the requirements and you've set up an investment in Kenya, we hold your hand literally. We hold hand you. We walk the journey with you. We check on you. We do post-care. We come to you. We come to where you've set up an investment. If it's a factory, if it's an industry, we visit you. We check on you. If a problem arises, if the laws change, anything changes, new licenses, anything, we help you now upgrade or make sure you're continuing well. It's called post-care. So we do pre-care and post-care. So that's what we do as Ken Invest. And we promote, we have forums where we sensitize The other thing we do is to ensure that the laws governing investments in Kenya, the rules and regulations are in place. We're currently in the process of reviewing the Investment Promotion Act. And to remove certain clauses and add certain clauses so that we make Kenya a more conducive atmosphere for investments and to make business easier in Kenya. So I am the board chair, which means that the board has the role of oversighting the management. We watch over the management as they do the day-to-day management and running of Kenya Investment Authority. We step in to ensure that the mandate is being fulfilled. We set policy guidelines. We set the strategic plan, and we basically come in to support the management in ensuring that the mandate is being fulfilled. You used to have to come to Kenya Invest and handwrite. Even as a foreign investor, you'd have to travel to Kenya. We take you to the one-stop center. You start filling in forms. But now we have digitalized that, the portal. From wherever you are, Australia, Japan, you can log into our portal. You can see all the requirements, all the information. You can literally fill in the forms online, digitally. Go to the website, see the information. So we are digitalizing. Let me be honest and say there's a launch to come where we fully launch the digitalization of the platform, because it's still work in progress. There are many elements to rope in. So right now people can use it, but we wanted to come to a certain extent. We want to expand it to cover literally everything you know what to do as an investor. So we're waiting for a time when it's fully fledged. Then the head of state is waiting to be invited to come and launch it. But for now, it is good enough. It can still be used, and we are digitalized to some extent. Let's say like 60% digitalized, but we intend to be fully digitalized in the next 6 months or so. We're behind schedule, but in the next 6 months or so.